and we took that to heart. Deputy Transportation Secretary Bradbury was down here earlier this month because the administration believes in the power of getting boots on the ground. Our presence here today is a reflection of our commitment to all of you. We are here today because Secretary Duffy just announced an additional $1.15 billion for the North Carolina Department of Transportation to help with Hurricane Helene recovery. This is the largest single allocation of emergency relief funding that has ever been allocated to one state in the department's history. The FHWA also provided more than $500 million in quick release emergency relief program funds, including $350 million to the North Carolina Department of Transportation. Combined, North Carolina DOT will receive a total of nearly $2 billion to help with the hurricane recovery effort. Thanks in part to this funding, the North Carolina DOT was able to reopen one lane in each direction on I-40. The Tennessee DOT also completed similar repairs. We know how crucial this roadway is for travel and commerce, and we're doing everything we can to get it reopened fully as quickly as possible. I-40 is a vital interstate that allows people and goods to travel across Asheville and western North Carolina through the mountains of eastern Tennessee. From families taking road trips to large freight trucks, the impact of I-40 travel has been felt throughout North Carolina. I cannot overstate the impact, which is why fully reopening I-40 is a top priority for U.S. DOT. Under Secretary Duffy's leadership, the FHWA partnered with the U.S. Forest Service to quickly clear legal barriers so North Carolina could access construction materials from Pisgah National Forest instead of 20 to 50 miles away. And now that decision is paying off right behind us. As crews prepare to pull rock from just down the road, this cut costs and time by nearly 2/3, saving taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. My thanks to the U.S. Forest Service for working with us to expedite this work, to reconstruct I-40 as quickly and effectively as possible. In addition, aggregate industry leaders delivered aggregate from temporary repairs, which included restoring one lane in each direction on I-40. They also provided aggregate for the causeway constructed to aid in the permanent repair of I-40. This is what real results look like: cutting red tape, saving time and money, and delivering for North Carolina families. But it's not just I-40. The Trump administration is committed to accelerating project delivery across the nation as we work to get America building again. Under Secretary Duffy's leadership, we're moving at lightning speed to deliver results for the American people. In just the first 9 months, the department has cleared roughly 90% of the 3,200 project backlog we inherited, delivered more than 2,000 projects worth roughly $31 billion, launched 52 deregulatory actions, cutting 600,000 unnecessary words, put President Trump's executive order into action, killing unnecessary regulations and unleashing prosperity. I want to thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. We share a common interest in ensuring that our nation's transportation system is as robust as possible. I look forward to our continued work together. Thank you. And now, let me turn it over to our next speaker, Forest Supervisor James Malonis.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak here today. Just a year ago, just like so many in Western North Carolina, I was stuck in my house in Asheville with no way of contacting my team to know if they were safe or any way to know the impacts Helene was having around us. So much has been accomplished since that time, and that's thanks in large part to the strong collaboration between governments here in North Carolina. Governor Stein, I can't express enough how glad I am of the partnership between the Forest Service and all the state agencies that we work with, especially Secretary Hopkins and the entire NCDOT team. There are 4 national forests in North Carolina. Each one is crisscrossed by state-managed highways. We work closely with the North Carolina Department of Transportation daily, enough so that we have a position in my office whose job it is to manage this partnership and serve as a point of contact between our two organizations. It's the strength of that partnership that made this celebration today possible. The work to rebuild I-40 is easily one of the most important recovery projects in Western North Carolina, if not the single most important. Right behind us is a small portion of the 500,000-acre Pisgah National Forest, one of the most visited national forests in the country, where NCDOT crews are preparing to extract the materials for this critical project. While our NCDOT colleagues are preparing to begin this work, we're already looking toward the future and the work that will happen after the extraction is complete. So not only are we working together with the DOT on the restoration of the borrowing area itself, but we've also entered into an agreement that will improve water quality and wildlife habitat throughout the Pigeon River Gorge. And the agreement will also add more than 1,000 acres of working forest land to the Pisgah National Forest. We're very grateful and proud to play a part in this project, and the Forest Service stands shoulder to shoulder with our state and federal partners as we see this project through to the end. Thank you, and it's my pleasure to welcome my friend, NCDOT Secretary Joey Hopkins.
Good morning. Thank you, Supervisor Malonis. Appreciate that. Our number one priority this past year has been to help the folks in Western North Carolina recover from Hurricane Helene. As you've heard, this is the most destructive storm in our state's history. The impacts to transportation alone, to the state-maintained transportation network alone, are in the range of $5 billion. To put that in perspective, from 2016 to just before Helene, our department has spent about $600 million on all named and declared storms in North Carolina. That's a big difference in just that one storm. I want to thank Secretary Duffy, Administrator McMaster, for their leadership and the recent announcement for the $1.1 billion. As Administrator said, that puts us almost at $2 billion commitment from the Federal Highway Administration to help us recover from Helene. Not only will that help us do the important work we have to do, but that will also help minimize any disruption to our other programs that we have ongoing across the state. And that funding is welcome and it's needed, so thank you very much. As the governor mentioned, the storm damaged about 94 different sections of roads. It also damaged over 840 bridges and 1,700 pipes and culverts. And as you can see, this hard work that has been going on this past year is paying off. As of this past month, we've completed repairs at more than 6,500 individual sites. As the governor mentioned, we've reopened about 97% of all the roads that were closed. And we've repaired more than 500 of those damaged and destroyed bridges and nearly all of the damaged pipes. Our crews and partners' efforts have been historic and also heroic. Right here on I-40, just on the other side of the tunnel, our IMAP drivers and a handful of employees rushed to save lives during the storm. As the interstate crumbled into the river below, they turned traffic back to Tennessee. Motorists were looking through their windshield as the road fell apart in front of them. Our folks backed those vehicles out, they calmed the motorists, and they evacuated all those motorists without any loss of life or injury. This is just one example of the efforts our crews have exerted over the last year. The governor mentioned that we were able to open up 2 lanes of I-40 March 1st, and that has made a big difference with commerce in western part of the state and points beyond. Several years of work still remain here, even after all of this effort. But as you've heard, the project's getting done faster and at lower cost thanks to the agreement between the U.S. Forest Service and the Federal Highway Administration. And I can't speak enough of the partnership that our department has with both these federal departments, these federal agencies. We've built these relationships working on projects all across the state for many decades now, and what you see behind us is a testament to that partnership and those friendships between our employees and their employees. And it's times like this where you need to have those relationships. Also see my friend back in the audience, U.S. Army Corps of Engineer Colonel. Glad to have you here. You're part of that too. Thank you for your friendship and partnership. We need all of those federal agencies to do this together, and it makes a big difference. Many of the people in yellow vests behind the cameras are on our contract team here, and also our consultant team and our DOT employees. These are the people that are actually doing the work that is approved by these many different agencies, and they're working hard each and every day to help restore this transportation network. With that said, as you've heard from the governor, I have decided to retire, and I'm just a short-timer here. I'm really happy to spend some of my last days here in Western North Carolina, really a place that tells the hardship that's been overcome by the resilience of the people of Western North Carolina and the workers in our state and the partnerships we have. I'm grateful to our DOT team and to all the people I've worked with throughout my career, including our partner agencies and the contractors. Thank you so much. We've tackled, thank you. We've tackled many challenges and celebrated many successes, especially in this past year. And again, with that said, we've got a lot of work to do in front of us. However, the department is in good hands. Daniel Johnson is taking the reins. Governor Stein and I both have full confidence that he will continue the good work that has happened this past year, and he will do that in a spirit of partnership. Thank you again for supporting the recovery efforts, and I want you to know that our department will see this through to the end. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Secretary Johnson for comments.
Good morning. Thank you, Secretary Hopkins. Thank you for your years of service to the Department of Transportation and the people of North Carolina. Thank you for your clear-eyed, steady leadership that set the department on course to restore the roadways and reopen Western North Carolina. And thank you, Governor Stein, for entrusting me with the responsibility to carry forward and build upon the legacy of Secretary Hopkins. I look forward to the challenges and opportunities as I assume the responsibility of serving as Secretary. The largest challenge and greatest opportunity come in continuing the recovery and reconstruction progress led by Secretary Hopkins, our staff in Raleigh, our people on the ground, who are led by division engineers, including Mr. Grindstaff, Tim Anderson, Michael Poe. The scale of destruction the department faced in the wake of Helene was unimaginable. And yet the department rose to the challenge and has restored access to this critical infrastructure at an awe-inspiring pace. That pace must continue. While it is important to reflect on the many accomplishments over the past year, there is no time to rest until the restoration of roadways of Western North Carolina is complete. Of course, the department couldn't have gotten to this point without strong collaboration and unprecedented support from our state and federal partners, most notably the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, and the United States Forest Service. I want to thank you, Administrator McMaster and Supervisor Malonis, and your teams. I look forward to continuing the collaboration that has allowed for the progress to date and has set the stage for the full restoration of the roadways of Western North Carolina. Finally, I want to thank our families and neighbors, our contractors and suppliers, and the crews from across the state and beyond who have made this massive recovery effort possible. Thank you. Now I want to invite Governor Stein and Secretary Hopkins back to the mic for any questions from the media.
We're happy to take any questions if there are. Yes, sir.
Governor Michael with WCCD in Charlotte. Democrat governor working with a Republican-led federal administration, oftentimes called a divided state at times. Did politics ever come up in this recovery process? And if not, what can we all learn from it?
My priority are the people of Western North Carolina. The president and his administration's priority are the people of Western North Carolina. The secretary, all of these hardworking folks The priority is the people of Western North Carolina. And so when you share a priority, you can come together arm in arm to try to make a difference. There are always going to be moments of tension where we want things to move faster, or we want more, or we want better, and that is natural in any kind of process as massive as this Western North Carolina recovery. But I've been very gratified with our partnership with our federal agencies. Yes, then we'll come back to you.
So I may have to call on more experts on the extraction, but starting there first. Right behind us are bents for the bridge crossings that will cross over the Pisgah National Forest. I'm sorry, over the Pisgah River. And so there will be a pair of bridges that cross right here, right behind us. And if you look across the river just down below, you see the bents on the other side that's starting that. These round things are piers or bents where the bridge will sit on. And so there'll be two one-way bridges crossing here. They're temporary bridges that will come out once the material has been extracted. Going up behind the mountain behind me is a haul road. So that's being constructed to go to the quarry site to bring the material back across the river that will help to rebuild what we lost for I-40. Yeah, so we will ride some of this after this is over, and I think we're going to go down on the causeway a little bit, and you'll see what we have to build back up to replace what was lost with the flooding of the river. Yeah, thank you, Yuch. And the other question, I'm sorry?
Where's the 1.15?
Okay, so Federal Highway Administration helps us on the federal aid highway system in North Carolina. So the interstate system, U.S. routes, NC routes, and your main secondary roads. So that $1.15 billion with the additional money that we previously got totals roughly $1.9 billion. That will go to the federal share of repairing and replacing those damaged federal aid network highways. So much of that will go to I-40, which you'll see that's estimated to cost us more than $1 billion to repair that. So we've got about a 4-mile stretch just west of the tunnels that we lost either a portion of the shoulder, a portion of the slow lane, or both eastbound lanes by the raging waters after the storm.